Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping straight into Thoughtly. It's an AI platform designed to shake up how businesses handle phone calls using smart voice agents.
Right. And this isn't just, another tech rundown.
No, exactly. Think of this as your fast track to understanding how Thoughtly could potentially automate those routine calls, maybe improve your customer experience, and cut down on overhead.
We've pulled together insights from articles, demos on YouTube, company info, basically getting you the full picture.
Our mission today, really unpack what Thoughtly is, how it functions behind the scenes, where it's actually being used, and maybe critically, why it could be a smart move for businesses like any size right now.
So at its core, Thoughtly is this AI platform letting businesses build and roll out AI voice agents. We're talking call center solutions here.
And the key thing is they're designed to sound human, right? To have conversations that feel natural, aiming to boost customer satisfaction, but also efficiency.
That's the goal. To really understand it, you need to look at what it does. Automating phone calls. And that's both for incoming customer service calls and things like outbound sales or follow-ups.
Okay, what really catches the eye, based on the sources, is how accessible they make it seem. It's built on a no-code idea.
Exactly, no code. So you can visually map out how you want your AI agent to talk. You're connecting nodes, defining outcomes, almost like drawing a flowchart on a screen.
So you don't need to be a programmer.
Not at all. It really opens up this kind of AI automation to pretty much anyone. You can build a fairly sophisticated AI phone agent without writing a single line of code.
Okay, let's dig into that no-code thing a bit more. So forget Python or Java. It's more like digital Lego bricks. What are these blocks or nodes we're talking about?
Precisely. Think of designing that conversation flow. You always start with a start node, naturally.
Yeah, right.
Then you have speak nodes. That's what the AI actually says. Then there are these things called ELOing nodes.
LME, what's that stand for?
Listening options. Basically, they handle questions where you need a specific answer, like a yes, no, or maybe choosing option 1, 2, or 3.
Got it. Like navigating a menu.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got SMS nodes if you want the AI to send a text message, maybe a confirmation or a link.
Okay.
If the call gets too complex or the customer asks for a person, there's a transfer node to pass it to a human agent.
It's essential.
Very. And action nodes are key for integrations connecting to your other business software. We'll probably touch on that more.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, end nodes to wrap up the call cleanly. It's all visual. Drag and drop, connect the dots.
That really does sound much more user-friendly than I might have guessed. But, customers don't always stick to the script. What happens if someone asks something totally out of the blue? Does the AI just crash?
Good question. That's where their genius feature comes in. And this is where it gets, I think, really interesting, moving beyond just those rigid pre-planned flows. You can essentially train the Thoughtly AI using your own company's information. You feed it text documents, audio files, PDFs, spreadsheets, even just links to pages on your website.
So like your FAQ page or product manuals.
Exactly, or internal knowledge base articles. The point is, the AI then uses this information to handle questions it wasn't explicitly programmed for in that visual flow chart.
Right.
It makes the conversations more dynamic. If a customer asks something unexpected, the AI tries to find a relevant answer from that knowledge base.
So it's actually learning from my specific business info. That feels like a big step up from those old IVR systems where you're just stuck in a loop.
It's definitely aiming for more adaptability, yes. Less press one for sales, more actual conversation.
Okay. Now, you mentioned action nodes and integrations. That sounds crucial for making this actually useful day to day. What kind of tools can it connect with, and what does that do for a business practically?
Yeah, the integrations are vital for making it work seamlessly. It's about data flowing automatically and streamlining things. So Thoughtly connects directly with phone systems like 3CX and Twilio.
Okay, standard stuff.
Right. But also CRMs, think Salesforce, HubSpot, others. Imagine the AI qualifies a lead on a call.
And it just automatically adds them to the CRM. No manual entry.
Exactly. Updates customer records, adds notes. Huge time saver, fewer errors. It also links up with email like Gmail for automated follow-ups or scheduling tools like Calendly.
So the AI could actually book a demo or appointment right there on the call?
Precisely. Finds an open slot, books it, maybe sends a confirmation email. And beyond those direct links, it supports Zapier and webhooks.
Zapier opens up thousands of apps.
It does. Zapier and webhooks are like universal translators, letting Thoughtly talk to almost any other web service you might be using. Want to send a Slack notification when a certain type of call ends? Probably doable.
That integration piece sounds really powerful for automating workflows around the call, not just the call itself. What if a business already has, perfectly good phone scripts they've used for years? Do they have to rebuild everything in this visual designer?
No, that's another practical feature they seem to have thought about. There's a script import function.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you have scripts written out, maybe even something generated by like ChatGPT or another AI writer,
Right.
you can import that text directly into Thoughtly. The platform then does its best to translate that linear script into its visual workflow structure.
So it gives you a starting point, at least. Save some setup time.
Exactly. It's a big help, especially for businesses that have already invested time in developing effective scripts.
Okay, makes sense. Now the voice, this is always the big question with AI voice stuff. Is it going to sound like, a robot?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to turn customers off?
It's a super valid concern. Customer experience hinges on this. Thoughtly tackles this through an integration, not something built in right now, it seems. They partner with a company called 11 Labs. You might have heard of them. They're pretty well known for realistic AI voices.
Yeah, I think so.
So through 11 Labs, you can potentially use voice cloning, meaning the AI could sound like a specific person, maybe someone already associated with your brand.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or you can just choose from a really wide library of different AI voices, various accents, tones, genders, to find one that fits your brand image and sounds natural.
Does that cost extra? Is it easy to set up?
The sources suggest you currently need to contact Thoughtly support to get the 11 Labs integration set up, so it's not just a button click within the platform itself yet. Costs would likely depend on 11 Labs pricing. And yes, regarding phone numbers.
Right. Does the AI need its own number?
You could buy phone numbers directly inside the Thoughtly platform for your agents to use, for both making calls and receiving them.
Okay, good to know. So the goal is this natural, almost human-like interaction. You mentioned lifelike AI customer experience or AICX. What does that actually feel like for the person calling in?
I think it's about fundamentally changing the expectation. We're all scarred by those awful automated systems, right?
Mashing zero repeatedly.
Yeah. So Thoughtly's aim is for its AI agents to listen, not just wait for keywords, but understand the meaning, the intent, to adapt if the caller goes off topic.
Or asks a follow-up question.
Exactly. And even remember context, potentially from previous calls or earlier in the same call. It's trying to mimic that natural flow of a human conversation, not just rigidly follow a script tree.
So it's less about just task completion, more about making the customer feel heard and, not frustrated.
That seems to be the core philosophy, moving beyond robotic responses to something that feels more like genuine engagement.
So it's really positioning itself against, the bad old days, outdated voicemail, receptionists swamped with calls, those infuriating press one menus.
Precisely. It's framed as the modern solution to those common business pain points. The focus is on real conversations that lead to, real results, happier customers, more qualified leads, smoother operations.
Okay, that all sounds very promising in theory. Let's talk about practice. Where is Thoughtly actually being used? Can you give us some concrete examples from different industries?
Yeah, the sources provide some good specifics. In healthcare, for instance, think about booking appointments automatically, answering common questions about insurance coverage.
That alone would free up a lot of staff time.
Huge amount. And it can also intelligently route urgent calls while keeping hypo compliance in mind, which is obviously critical there.
Okay, healthcare makes sense. What else?
Restaurants, handling reservation bookings, telling callers about the daily specials automatically, even doing initial phone screenings for job applicants.
Screening applicants, interesting.
Yeah. Then real estate, following up on website leads, giving out basic property info like square footage or number of bedrooms, and helping to qualify how serious a potential buyer is.
Pre-qualifying leads automatically. Realtors would love that.
I imagine so. And IT service firms, fielding those initial support calls, maybe providing updates during an outage, or escalating really critical issues to a human technician right away.
So handling that first line of support.
Exactly. And then just generally, across many businesses, answering FAQs 24/7, scheduling appointments or demos, qualifying leads from website forms, sending follow-up reminders, lots of applications.
It seems really versatile then. It can handle people calling in, but also make calls out.
Correct. It covers both inbound and outbound. For inbound, it's like having that perfect AI receptionist who's always there, always polite, answers common questions instantly, and routes calls correctly if needed.
The 24/7 aspect is huge.
It really is. And for outbound, there was a specific example mentioned, Tessa from a company called WP Done For You. This AI agent called someone who filled out a website contact form to follow up.
Proactive outreach by the AI.
Yep. You could use it for onboarding new customers, maybe chasing late payments gently, or other proactive communications where you want a voice, not just an email.
That WP done for you example helps make it concrete. What else did the sources say about how well this actually works? Any user feedback or hands-on reviews?
We did see a client testimonial, someone named Daisy Rich, who seemed really happy, saying she wished she'd found it sooner. That's always a good sign.
Positive user feedback is key.
Definitely. And there was a reviewer who actually signed up for a free account to try it out. Their initial take was pretty positive. They highlighted how surprisingly human the AI voices sounded.
That keeps coming up, the voice quality.
It seems to be a major focus for them. The reviewer saw a clear potential for using it to sell services, handle inquiries, pre-qualify leads, like we discussed.
But was it perfect? Any downsides mentioned?
Well, they offered a balanced view. Being a newer tool, the reviewer noted there might be, occasional hiccups, maybe slight delays or minor bugs here and there. Room for improvement, which is normal.
Sure, expected with new tech.
But the overall sentiment was excitement about the potential return on investment, especially when you compare the cost to hiring more staff.
The cost-benefit analysis seems compelling.
It does. And they also mentioned the ability to test and train your AI agent. You can see where it might misunderstand something and then give it guidance to handle similar situations better next time. Continuous improvement.
So you're not just deploying it and hoping for the best, you can refine it. Okay, so promising, maybe still evolving, but the core idea, natural voice, cost savings, seems to resonate. How does Thoughtly fit into the bigger AI landscape? There are other players, right? Like Google's Dialogflow, Amazon Lex, maybe even tools from companies like RingCentral.
Absolutely. It's not operating in a vacuum. Platforms like Dialogflow and Lex are powerful, no doubt, often used for building complex chatbots and voice applications.
So how is Thoughtly different? What's its niche?
From the sources, Thoughtly seems to be differentiating itself by focusing intensely on the experience, the quality and naturalness of the AI voice agent. It's less about just the underlying natural language processing and more about crafting that human-like conversational AI.
So less techy, more focused on the actual interaction.
That seems to be the angle. Trying to move beyond bots that just follow rigid scripts. They emphasize the listening, understanding, adapting, remembering context, things that make a conversation feel more real.
And you mentioned earlier it could help smaller businesses?
Yes, that came up. For SMBs, it could be a way to sound bigger, basically, to have a really professional, polished, always-on phone presence that might typically only be possible for larger companies with dedicated call centers. It sort of levels the playing field.
But can big companies use it too? Enterprises?
The scalability suggests yes. Enterprises could use it to automate high volumes of routine calls, freeing up their human agents for the really complex, high-value interactions. There was mention of another tool, Call Shaper.
Right.
But the sources didn't really have details on pricing or reviews, so it's hard to compare directly. As for RingCentral, Thoughtly specifically mentions seamless integration with PBX systems, including 3CX.
Okay, so it aims to slot into existing phone setups easily.
That seems to be the idea, making it viable across different business sizes and existing infrastructures.
That makes sense. Helping smaller guys compete, but also scaling up for the big players. So pulling this all together, why should a business, whether it's a startup or a Fortune 500, be looking at something like Thoughtly right now? What makes this timing significant?
Well, several things seem to be aligning. First, the core benefits we've discussed are becoming really clear and desirable. Never missing a customer call.
Huge.
24/7 availability for basic support or answers.
Table stakes soon, maybe?
Could be. Automating lead qualification saves so much sales time. And of course, the potential for significant cost reduction compared to hiring more people. That ROI argument is strong.
The cost effectiveness is definitely a major driver.
For sure. Then there's the platform itself. Its scalability means it can grow with you. And the customizability lets you tailor it. It's not one size fits all. Plus the emphasis on ease of use, the no-code aspect, and having support available, that lowers the barrier to entry.
Removes some of the fear factor of adopting complex AI.
Exactly. And finally, just the sheer pace of advancement in AI voice technology right now. It's getting so much better, so much faster. Getting on board now means you're not playing catch-up later. It's about gaining that competitive edge through better customer experience and efficiency.
So adopt now or risk falling behind?
That's certainly the implication. And if people are curious, the sources point towards AIvoice.NAC as a place to learn more, maybe book a demo, or even try interacting with one of their live AI agents.
AIvoice.NIC, got it. Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive today, Thoughtly emerges as a pretty powerful and seemingly accessible way for businesses, really of any size, to bring AI into their phone communications. The goal is human-like agents that do more than just automate.
Right. It's about creating interactions that are actually engaging, effective, and deliver real business value.
I think the real aha moment for me anyway is seeing how far this AI voice tech has come. It's moving beyond just basic Q&A into something that could genuinely manage important conversations 24/7.
It really opens up possibilities.
It does, and that leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. If you had intelligent voice agents handling calls around the clock intelligently, what new opportunities might that unlock for your business's growth or for the relationships you build with your customers? What haven't you even thought of yet? That's your point to ponder from this deep dive. Until next time.
Like what you saw in this video? There's more where that came from. Head over to savvymatthew.com/TV to tune into Savvy Matthew TV, our 24/7 streaming channel packed with non-stop content covering the latest in technology, gear reviews, smart living, and digital innovation. Whether you're a casual fan or a full-on tech junkie, there's always something streaming for you. Watch now at savvymatthew.com/TV.